Good evening, everyone. Yes, I am. I'm just huffling away, huffling, huffling, huffling. That's my misspelling of shuffling without my glasses. How are you tonight, Sherry? I'm doing well. Had a live earlier with Gerald Tarot Stash, and we read with the Vanessa Tarot, and I'm going to keep with that deck today because I enjoyed the energy of the reads from this deck. I'm not selling decks or anything, but it's an inexpensive deck. It's a Tarot and a Tin from US Game Systems. And it's got a lot of divine feminine energy, although there are males portrayed on the cards when necessary. But it is all about powerful women and empowering them. So it is hotter than blazes in Houston, and I picked the wrong time of day to go to the store. I have an electric scooter, and I went down to the store right after work when everybody was getting off, and let's say it was dangerous to say the least. People parking in the crosswalks. I've got to make sure that a person sees me because the reason I'm on an electric scooter is I've been hit by a car and have lost some lower leg function. Uh, and so when I have to go a long ways, I take the electric cart. When I have go around or take trash out, I just have a rollator that I mobilize in. But yeah, to cross the major street to get to a shop that I go to, I had to wait 2 light cycles because people were parked in the crosswalk and couldn't move or couldn't back up. And I know that as long as I'm in the lines of the crosswalk, I'm legally protected. And if I'm outside with that little cart, um, insurance wouldn't back you up on a hit and run or a topple you over slow roll by. But I'm not in the mood to heal like that ever again. Oh, it's just Houston. People are stupid here, and it's the heat. It makes everybody on edge, and um, that's that's just sort of an everyday thing that I have to take care of. Sherry, do you have any question that you're asking for? Let's see. Let me get my words bigger so I can. There we go. Now I can see the chat. Well, it's sort of everyone for themselves. It's hot. You're tired. It's after work. People want to get home. So attention spans are not quite what they should be. It's hard enough to be a driver, but uh, this is not a town or a city for pedestrians at all. So Sherry, what kind of question would you like me to answer for you, or do you want to stick around and wait for some other people to come in and engage. You may be here all night. I don't have a big following yet, but I'm glad to do it, and I'm doing this to get more practice because I've been on with other creators, never solo on screen. Very couldn't keep the conversation going and lively, so I'm working on those types of skills. A love, just a general love reading. Is it in the cards for Sherry? Cards. Tell me, what does Sherry need to know about love? Juicy. In the next year. Okay. So we start out with the Queen of Swords. Well, you're definitely a person who knows what you want, and you you're thinking in the right ways. If you're trying to attract a mate, um, you know, sometimes what you're physically attracted to, um, you may need to transform and become. The Ten of Coins. This is like generational wealth. I don't know. It's not wealth. It's abundance in things and possessions around you. Hi, Leah. Um, and when you've got that 10 card, you've gone all the way through the suit of coins before you get to your courts, and so you have things set up and pretty around you. You like your life the way it is. What you can control, you do control, and you don't you don't spend frivolously. No, Hershey went to bed. Uh, and so you keep that abundance around you, and you want to keep an abundance mindset, especially if you're looking for love. And just a reminder, you can't find love in your own living room. You've got to get out and do things that you enjoy, and maybe you'll find that person doing those same or similar things that you enjoy adjacent. Do you like walks in the park with the dogs? Do you like gardening? Garden in a public garden. Do you like nature walks? Maybe get on a historical trail. A guided walking tour around a new city. Hi, Courtney. And then we have the transformation. So I think in a year's time, you won't be the same Sherry. This is death reversed. And remember, it's not a physical thing. It's very rarely a physical death. It's the death of Sherry as herself, and it's a chance for you to step away from all the usual thinking that you've done. Yeah. So go to the local lake and rent a paddle boat, or get out in nature, ground. It's just do it in an area that's not too remote. Make sure it's like a city park structure or something like that, so that there will be people around you, and be safe, be aware of your surroundings, and if you need to carry bear spray, carry that, just so you can keep yourself protected. So I would say you're going to have that transformation within the year, hopefully. So that's what the cards are saying for you, Sherry. So Good luck on that. Um, I'm I'm currently not looking, and uh, that's sometimes when you're not looking, it happens as well. So, um, are you into books? Go to the library, go to a talk, go to lectures that on subjects that you enjoy. Um, just get involved in a community and don't keep yourself to one space. Get out and be seen. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's what I mean. Some pepper spray or whatever is allowed in your jurisdiction. We all have things. We we can carry pepper spray or bear spray. But uh, you got to have a reason to use it. You can't just go up and spray somebody in the face with it. Hi, Jr. Yeah, I waited till Kelly and Scott were off tonight to come on and practice my speaking skills and uh, how to keep a stream by myself because I've had all those people that co co-host with me and help me do all the things, and it's kind of daunting to begin with, and especially if you don't have a lot of self-confidence. Leia, you caught me on a good night. I actually shaved. I mean, you've seen me in the last couple days. I was looking a little scruffy. Hello, Miss Moonlight. How's everybody's day been? I just sort of told Sherry what I was going through by going to the local store in my cart when everybody got out of work. It's just um, people were not driving smart, shall we say? So I had to wait a lot and be on the lookout and not get cut off at driveways and things like that. Thank you, Sherry. Appreciate that. Sherry, did your day go okay? Oh, thank you, Miss Moonlight. I appreciate you saying that, and I'm reading again with the Vanessa Tarot. Gerald and I read with this deck today, and I had some really fun reads with it. And the deck is female centric and has a lot of that divine feminine energy to it. So it gave different different readings than I'm used to with my standard RWS type decks, and I'm glad to go outside my box and show people new decks. It's tarot in a tin, very inexpensive for people if they want to pick up a tarot. Less than $20. U.S. Game Systems. You can find it on the Amazons. Did we have somebody else before Lee? Like Courtney. Oh, it's on the screen, Tom. See, I'm not doing very well. Did it? Did it? Okay, I'll star you, Leia. Okay, Courtney Elf. Do you have a question or area of interest that you would like me to do a little 3-card mini read for you on? Yeah, I'm finding the tarot in a tin very good, and it's I just have to shave it off a little to be able to use it in my automatic card shuffler. Otherwise, I just cut and cut and cut. And okay, I'll put that in with your question, Leia. But we're and then I okay. I didn't take Courtney Elf off. Courtney Elf. What does the rest of August look like for Courtney? Okay, Courtney, you start out like right now. The current energy is pretty good. You're in the Four of Wands, which is sort of the a celebration. You're taking time to be with those that you love and celebrate things. Um, and then later, it might get a little rocky for you because we have justice turned on its head. So hopefully, you can minimize any injustices that may be coming your way. And justice is also a card of balance and fairness. So there may be some hinky dealings going on around you. Um, and then we have the Ten of Swords reversed. Kind of a mixed message here. So I think the if you've had any rough times here recently and you've feel like the world has stabbed you in the back and left you to bleed out, um, that's over and done with. So kind of a mixed bag for the rest of the month, Courtney. I'm sorry it's not all sunshines and unicorns and rainbow farts. What did the father buffalo say to his kid before he walked away? Bye, son. That sounds like a dad joke, Leia. And when a joke becomes a dad joke? When it's a parent or a groaner. This fall and winter for Leia. I don't have a card cam. What I'm doing is I'm just spreading the deck out in front of me and picking 3 random cards and placing them in front of me. And I do read reversals. So when I cut my cards over and over, I make sure that I turn some this way and that way. So fall and winter. 5 of coins reversed. 5 of pentacles reversed. So you're coming out of that loss or feeling bankrupt attitude. This is just saying that the hard times are over. Things are gradually going to get better. It's not going to be overnight. It's a process. But things will be looking up. The Knight of Coins reversed, and this is when he's upright. He's the slow moving knight. He's slow, methodical. He can be a mercenary soldier, so he can sell his services to the highest bidder, not to a cause that he supports, just a cause that can get him the most money. If he were fighting for Russia and the Ukraine, his services would be out to the highest bidder, and he wouldn't care who he fought for, just as long as he could get some payola out of it. So being reversed, don't think about everything is what's in it for me. Maybe ref- reframe it and say, uh, what's in it for others? What can I do to serve others? And or what resources do I have in plenty that I can share with others? Are you a scholar and know a lot about a subject? You can teach people. You can be a mentor. You can do things like that. Uh, and we end up with the Seven of Cups. And we all know that that's a card of muddled thoughts and muddled choices. You um, you see everything and all the possibilities, but you don't know what to pick to get it to come out the way that you want. So you pick one of the cups, and if it serves you well, you stick with it. If not, you can pick again. You can always redirect. Ooh, lots of art supplies, baking equipment. I took the Wilson cake decorating classes when I worked at um, a Garden Ridge here in Houston. They had art supplies and baking supplies and homewares, and it was like a crafts and um, it was department store. So you'd have pillows and furnishings, and then a room full of cards, pictures and picture frames. Uh, so it was like a smorgasbord. So they sponsored a lady that came out and gave Wilton cake decorating classes. And since I was an employee, I got to take the classes for half price and get the supplies with my 20% off. But let me tell you, um, not a not a cheap hobby. It's probably about a $400 investment with the bags and the tips, and then I had I had to be on the road at 5 in the morning to get to my work, uh, and so on cake decorating days, I would have to bake a cake the night before, uh, and then take the cake and have the base icing on it, um, ready for whatever flowers or decorating techniques we were going to do that night. And I came up with some pretty awesome cakes, but I would say that me in bright colors and food and frosting, uh, I was more on the, I would say, watercolor or toned down side because I don't want to eat electric blue icing and risk that coming out in other bodily functions. So, have you done the Wilton before? I wish I still had hand coordination and could do something like that. Um, you know, uh, Everything in its own time. I did it. I enjoyed it while I did it, and um, the graduation after you went to through the I think it was a 4 course. I think you had 6 weeks for each course, and it was course 1, 2, 3, and 4. And at the end of the fourth class, we had to do a complete tiered wedding cake, with the plastic columns and the frou frou stairways and all that. Um, I was, oh yeah, yeah. Sorry, I wouldn't be into that. Leia. I'd have to scrape. I'd be all for eating the cake underneath, but I'd have to get rid of the black buttercream. And then the buttercream icing that you make for the class is a crusting thing. So it's like once you spread it and get it there, in about 10 minutes, it forms a crust. So like if you put a finger in the cake, you'll have a dip and cracks around it. So you have to actually no, it's actually a little more. I think it's better to do it with just the regular icing recipe, and then it tastes better too because the amount of Crisco and powdered sugar in their decorating recipe, uh, yeah, can make you diabetic, and it's just too sweet. Just too sweet. Hi, Amanda. Thanks for joining us. I saw you earlier on Kelly's channel, and thanks for stopping in with Gerald and I. I'm still reading with the Vanessa Tarot like we did on Gerald's program today. So yeah, I'm also doing this because like my regular content, I've got two approximately 1 hour shows a week that I do with co-creators, and then that I get watch time credit for. If I'm on, I don't split the watch time with anybody um, by co-signing onto their channel. I let them have all their watch time. It's just an honor to be invited by them, and it's only the originator of the stream who gets watch time credit anyway. So the simulcast thing really doesn't bring much other than what we found out is if um, you're not doing subscribers only mode, then it brings in these troll bots that say awful things to people in the comments. And, uh, you know, why would I need somebody to beat up on Sherry, who I'm probably just meeting for the first time this evening? You know, calling them racist names by spelling it out one letter at a time, or saying that we uh, kowtow to the devil and the demons, and we're not playing with God's intentions. I see the tarot as a tool for self help and expanding your mind, but I do use traditional meanings. Yeah, it's just the originator of the stream, the original host who put the stream up and sends you the links. They're the only ones that are going to get view time. Uh, you can link in a playlist that live on your channel. And if later, after the broadcast comes in, you get some credit. But I'm not sure how much of a percentage, if it's a 50-50 view time credit or not, because it's hard to see, how long an individual stays. They just say it's a view after 30 seconds, but they don't really, you have to be able to read graphs. And if you don't have that graph, broken out by that person, it doesn't mean anything. It's just sort of garbled. Yeah, well, these bots that they have, somebody has like 1,000 URLs, and it's a structured team, and they say, okay, let's go after tarot readers tonight, and they'll hit your channel, and it's a program, but it's an awful program. And no matter what you do or how much you report them to YouTube doesn't stop them, because they can't kill 1,000 URLs if they're attacking from one or two people. Um, that could be, Leia. I've certainly never seen anybody who's doing a YouTube show deserve that kind of hate to be spewed to them or their listeners or viewers. Um, yeah, we're human. Ain't ain't no one perfect. I am far from clean myself. I've uh, 5 years ago, before I started my shadow work and working on my mental health, different person. You wouldn't have liked me. I was pretty much drunk all the time to avoid um, situations that I didn't want to face. And then I had the accident and had time to work on myself and figured out that I should have worked on myself in my 20s. I would have been a person feeling that they deserve to be loved, uh, being a better person, as treating my spouse or my partner better. If I had a relationship that went sour this way, then that that baggage accumulated, and the the new love interest would suffer for consequences that they didn't even bring on themselves. It was past baggage and my hurt, that inner child that we all have. So get in touch with somebody who can help you with shadow work. Get into counseling. It's the best thing that you can do. I use oh me bitch. Oh, you used to do the hokey pokey, but you turned yourself around. Boy, that took a lot to get the hokey pokey out of that one. I used to do the holy pome, but I turned myself around. Once I got to the turn yourself around, Leia, I knew it was that dad joke. Oh, I'm not being hard on myself, Amanda. I'm just um, I want to use myself as an example, because that's probably my regret. Um, One of my bigger regrets in life. I have a few. Um, but working on the mental health and working on me and healing that inner child from family trauma. Let's say we didn't put the fun in dysfunctional, but we were totally dysfunctional. It was all for show. There was the public personas, and then there was the home life personas. Okay, Amanda. Did I have any others before Amanda that I missed? If so, just type me. So, Amanda, one of my new goals is to get an average of 12 hours of view time per day. So I can do that with um, my hour-long programs. I've got 2 hour-long programs. I've got the shadow work with Hershey on Wednesdays and the intuitive tarot journaling on Sundays. Um, and so if they get like on average more than 12 hours, I don't have to hit that. But my daily content is a 3 minute, 2 to 3 minute card of the day short. Well, short form, not can't be in the shorts feed if it's over a minute. It's hard to get hours of view time from 3 minutes of video. So what does Amanda want? Do you have a specific concern, Amanda? Oh yeah, shadow work and counseling sucks. I mean, uh, but it was the first time I could really have that cathartic primal cry in my life because I was always beat up and said men don't cry. well, I'm a very sensitive person, and I could cry at the drop of a hat. I had bullies in school. I was a very big person in my younger age, and it's just general. Thank you. Um, just I understand what I mean compared to other people. I mean, physical needs were taken care of, but emotional needs had some ways to go. Ten of Wands, okay, but we're reversed. So Amanda, you're getting rid of burdens. You're figuring out um, how to cast ballast off from your ship, your personal ship, so you don't have to take on all the burdens for those around you. You can gladly carry them, but only if you carry them uh, gladly. Don't insist. Don't be made to carry somebody else's burdens because they insist on it, or they make you have a guilt trip to do it. Um, I mean, there are people in our lives that will gladly help when they're having troubles, financial times, emotional times, um, physical times. Like, if you got a big project, um, I don't. I know this is a bad example because I doubt that you're a roofer, but if your neighbor needed his roof repaired and you could help them do it, you would help them do it for a weekend project, but you wouldn't go with the neighbor and go down the street and do every other house on the street. Yeah, yeah. I I don't know where my mother came up with the guilt trip, but she could manipulate the socks off of anybody with a guilt trip. Six of Cups. So you're in the charity mood. No, Six of Cups. No, you're in the nostalgia mood. Six of Coins is charity. So you're thinking back on your past, and um, you want to think of the things that served you well, and that are happy memories. You sort of want to see if you can uh, reframe any unpleasant memories differently now that you're older and wiser. You're not too old. And the thing about nostalgia is you can't sit down every day with the um, photo albums and the scrapbooks and go back. Oh, that was a good time. That was a good time. Oh, I remember when we did this. Oh, do I have a story to tell about that? Try to get that. You can't revisit that daily. Have those happy memories to take with you because you got to live in the present and in the now. So any lessons that you learned from past experience, or those warm fuzzy feelings, or even those scary anxious moments, um, incorporate them in your everyday life, to make it better, or to make you remember the lesson. It's like, oh yeah, I did that last time, didn't work so well. Let's do something else this time instead of relying on our same old crutches over and over. uh, oh no, yeah, I used to think the age I am now was ancient, but now that I'm at the age, the mental age is, I'm still a 13-year-old boy telling flatulence jokes and you know chucking shoulders with the boys. Uh, and then we have another six. We have the Six of Swords upright. So this is the moving into calmer waters. So I think that you find your stride, and you make everything balanced. So you're um, it's a journey. Um, sometimes you're the gondolier getting the boat there, or sometimes you're the passenger sitting in the boat that's had a rough and rocky past, and you're leaving everything behind because times were rough uh, in that area or that situation or with that person that you need to escape from. Um, you it takes guts to do something new and to move on, and especially if you don't have a support system around you. So I don't know what your life situation is, if you're partnered or familyed, but um, you know, life has enough baggage anyway. Make sure that the swords in the front of the boat is not baggage that hasn't served you well in the past. Oh, and remember, Amanda, moves are like one of the highest causes of stress in even event. The event of a move is a high stressor in a person's life. Um, so I've always tried to get to where I'm going and hang the artwork up immediately, buy a new comforter and bedspread, and have a new color for the bedroom. Not can't can't go too bright because you don't want to stay awake with neon yellow in the middle of the night. Uh, Good, good. So you got yourself in a better surrounding. That's great, Amanda. Um, did, did you participate in the building or just um, do the planning work or had it built to your specifications? Um, because, like, if you could be Jimmy Carter and get into Habitat for Humanity, you learn a lot of skills um, just by being there with that crew. And was it economic reasons or yeah, I don't need to pry, but it, if it was a forced sale, it's a forced sale, and it sounds like yeah, living out of boxes. They always say it's better to clean it out and declutter and take it to Goodwill or Salvation Army or um, put it in a dump before moving it because then it can stick around in that box. And if it stays in that box for 6 years, did you really need it? or or you buy another one because you can't find it because it's in a box. So hi, Aaron. You pick a Oh, okay. So it's sort of like a model a model builder or a planned community where you had your choice of how to finish it off. Oh, oh, I'm so sorry, Amanda. I'm so sorry. Is he all well? Hi, Rossi. I hope he's all well, Amanda. Being a caregiver for somebody who's sick. Yeah, I decided that I was going to be on Gerald's program today, and I've been the little hermit for way too long. Um, but I can grow hair where it grows fairly quickly and get scraggly and scruffy looking fairly quickly. So that's a plus. Just my forehead gets higher, and then the round spot gets a little wider. Okay, And then you've got a house that's functional for you. When you picked out those floor plans and spaces and modifications, you had intent in mind. You had purpose rooms. You didn't just have willy nilly. I love California houses with vaulted ceilings, and it looks like it'd be great for a party space. But um, if you're not into entertaining people and having people over for barbecues every weekend, you don't need something big and expansive like those open plans are. So Amanda is Tropical Empress in Spirit. What do you have going on this week? Do you have any lives on your channel? Oh yeah, ranch style. One level. Oh, I'm all for a ranch style house, especially getting around on a rollator and a scooter for the long haul. Um, yeah, that would be uh, amazing. I had to make sure that I could move into a ground floor condo here. When I had my accident, I was on the third floor of a condo unit, and let's say when the elevators were out, it was a little challenging for me to get around with a rollator uh, and get it up 3 flights of stairs and get my feet up 3 flights of stairs. It was a challenge. It was very frustrating, but I made it through it. Oh yeah, yeah. These collaborations are good, especially when you're new and beginning. Uh, and that's part of the reason I'm doing this is because I've always had a crutch with somebody else being on screen with me. They would help me spot people who wanted a reading, or um, be my moderator, or lead the conversation, because I just couldn't keep hold of a conversation for a long time. So there'd be these long pregnant pauses. But I kept them all on my channel, so you can see how awkward. But I kept them on so I could see how much I've progressed in this last year. Yeah, and let's see. Wilson also sells um, a haunted house kit at Halloween time, so it's got black and purple in that acid green as icing tint colors to use, and bat sprinkles and all those ghost sprinkles and all those little fun things to do. And if you get a gingerbread house that's been broken, they make a better um, haunted house than a cookie that hasn't split. You can use the icing to spackle it up, and it looks like a dilapidated haunted house. You know, not everything has to be pretty. A haunted house needs to look haunted, and that's what I believe. Aaron, are you in the mood for a reading, or Rossi, or suggest topics to talk about? What's on your mind? We're still in Mercury retrograde. I know that that's hit some people hard, energetically. Um, my days seem to run into each other, so not a challenge there. The portal day, the 8-8, was a very interesting day. There were a lot of knocks and pops and animal calls uh, that were very unexplainable around here. Um, so the energy with two people into the esoteric and woo woo witchery. I'm just dipping a toe into the water, but Hershey has been a trans medium for many years. I mean, she's been able to talk to the other side since she was a little girl that she can remember, and her whole family is energetically connected that way. Absolutely, Aaron. Yeah, electronics. That's one of my frustration points. If my computer's not acting right, I give it a total restart. But if it's the Wi-Fi or something that is not affected by a restart of the computer, then I get very frustrated at that. I I've come on alive at times, being so frustrated that uh, you see me going. Have Tropical Empress, are you using editing software? Are you just going with the raw video recordings right now? Yeah, with Hershey around, electronics are very sketch. Um, just that. Seriously, went to ooh, that sounds so interesting, Rossi. Um, Last night I dreamt I was wearing one neon pink croc and one neon orange croc, and I was fully mobile and able, and it was a good dream because I was mobile, and so I'm always happy when I have those types of dreams and can forget about the day to day challenges that I have. Hi, Mousy. Welcome, welcome. I uh, just started using CapCut for editing. It is free, but I started with Microsoft Clipchamp originally. Um, it's a very easy basic editor, but you can't do lots of fancy stuff. This CapCut, you can make a cinematic movie if you want. Although I don't know what the length of the recordings goes to. I know Clipchamp, if you went over 10 minutes, then you were having problems with it. Otherwise, I will take things out just in StreamYard and use the editor there. Cut this out, cut this out, cut this out, cut this out. But that's only on the rebroadcast. The lives stay as they were until you um, cut things out and then re-upload them. But I wanted to stay organic, so the biggest thing I do is cut off the countdown timer at the very beginning and add a 10-second screen so I can say, watch this video next. Watch. This is a video from my channel suggested for you. Subscribe. Rossi, I think I've had a live in Egypt, or at least some of my guides have very much Egyptian connections. Um, yeah, an introduction. Um, I haven't I haven't made my channel trailer video yet because I'm still trying to decide what I think I am. I know what I want to be, but I'm certainly not there yet. uh, but they do suggest that you put a video trailer on your homepage, and then people that are finding you through browse features or whatever, once they watch a short of yours or a production, they can check you out and um, oh, Aaron, in in the 90s, I had a job, an IT job, where I traveled uh, very extensively. So I had a lot of airport waiting time between flights. So I started reading. And during that 10 years, I probably read, well, I know I was averaging at least 70 books a year. So, some were biographies. I love good biographies. I love fantasy. I would do the Lord of the Rings and Hobbit series every other year, starting at January 1st, and read them all the way through. So, I just read it whatever interested me, and so um, I was in some whatnot gift shop, maybe a Spencer's or something, and I picked up a deck of tarot cards. Your regular yellow plaid back Rider Waite with the little pamphlet as a guidebook. Um, so during that reading series, it was about 1996 or 97 that I was reading a lot of tarot books just to um, get into the knowledge. And so I would go to books that were sort of more on the psychology bent of tarot. Like it's Jung in the Tarot and Archetypal uh, Exploration by Sally Nichols. And that gave a deep dive into all the archetypes for the majors, and then had just a little bit at the very end on all the other suit cards. Well, more just the energy of the suits. Why they were drawn that way, or these are connected to Earth, this is connected to air, and analytical. So I was reading books on that, and probably had read 10 books. And when I was actually in my office one week, I had my tarot book with me because I just developed that habit to always have a book. So like on my break or at lunch, I just go to my safe space and read. And one of my coworkers saw it, and she said that she belonged to a charity, and their fall bazaar was coming up, and would I consider reading tarot cards at their charity event, their fall bazaar? I said, well, I've only read tarot for myself, and I'm still kind of learning. She said, no, you can do it. So they already had a tarot reader in their immediate chapter. So they talked her into coming out and doing tarot cards, uh, and myself coming out and doing tarot cards. So we both had card tables set up, and I had a tablecloth and two folding chairs that were uncomfortable as heck. And I'm this 305-pound person in a folding chair for too many hours. Uh, and the charity was the Daughters of the British Empire, and like every hour or so, the uh, drum and bagpipes would come through the hall and make it impossible to read. So they charged $7 a reading, and they gave us 15-minute time slots, and it was 15 minutes, and be on to the next person. So I read Celtic Cross from 10 in the morning till 5 at night. So that's 28 readings during the day, and the other lady did 28 readings. They were thrilled with their $7, but I did that for like 12 years with them, and they never raised that $7. Everything else went up, but they never raised that $7. So I got a following, and people would come back to me year after year, and uh, it's a good way to learn tarot very quickly. It's a good way to get feedback, and I don't think I had anybody was like totally disgusted for spending $7 on tarot reading. Yeah, so that was around. Oh, I've got the Morgan Greer Tarot right here. I've been reading it with that on my Tuesdays tarot pairs with Jeff from Tarot Ask Backwards. So yeah, that was mid '90s that I was reading about the tarot. I had some, you know, tarot plain and simple, like Greer, Mary Green. Some basic things. I had a book that came with a CD that you could put into your computer and show you the card and tell you what the card was. But to do a reading with it, it couldn't expand what it meant in this position of a Celtic cross reading. Oh, I learned stuff. I learned stuff about beekeeping. I'd never go near a colony of bees, but it was fascinating how that bee colony acts as an organism, and they know when to make new queens, because they can sense when the queen is losing her laying abilities or getting a little long in tooth. Yeah, definitely during the COVID thing, I picked up a couple tarot decks. I didn't even know Oracle decks existed until watching the YouTube tarot people. So Hershey is challenging me and trying to break me out of straight RWS tarot, and um, she'll hand me an Oracle deck, and um, sometimes I struggle. Sometimes it makes sense, like the alchemical deck that Crans. Is it Kim Crans? Um, I love that, and I just knew the science behind the alchemical symbols, even though that is just a part of the deck. You get the people and the archetypes in that too. Well, I've viewed the decks as little mini um, art galleries, featuring the work of one person, and I'm fascinated with the play of color that they have. Some may not be my aesthetic. Um, like I said, when I was cake decorating, it would be a more pastel palette, but food was involved in my personal taste for colors of food that I will and will not eat on a regular basis. Um, I love uh, t- palette knife. Impasto, um, chunky things that have texture to them. And when I can see that on the cards, I really get excited about those intricate or precise placements of that palette knife. Yeah, Aaron. So, just remember to plant the things that attract pollinators. And like if you're into hummingbirds, most hummingbirds will also go to those pollinator plants. Hummingbirds like long trumpet shaped flowers. It seems to be, and a lot of the killer bee swarms here in Texas. I was never going to go to Texas because Texas had killer bees. It's just uh, an Africa honeybee. It's what a killer bee is. They deal with them all the time, and it's no problem there. They swarm just like these do. If you smoke them and get the queen moved, they're not aggressive. Um, it's just that they have a higher tendency to defend, and so if you really do something to piss them off, they actually will go after you. Oh well, don't do that to yourself, Rossi. Make priorities. You know, it's yeah. All those independent decks are so enticing, um, but do within your budget and your means. You don't necessarily have to go out and spend. And I know, Rossi, that you regift things to a lot of us readers on the shows, which I'm very fortunate to have many beautiful decks from my viewers. And um but it doesn't make my day any less bright not having a new tarot deck. It gives me a chance to explore a tarot deck that I haven't looked into enough prior. Yeah, and uh, I don't even look at the decks on Kickstarter because um, uh, I don't have that want of having all the extras that go along with it. I don't need the journal. I don't need the commemorative yes no coin. I don't uh, have a need for the tarot size and the pocket size or the mini size. Um, I like the mini size just because of my hands. Yeah, I'm sure they can get very expensive, but I wish a lot of people. I wish that decks were more available on Make Playing Cards platform. But then again, some people don't like the card stock choices that they have with Make Playing Cards. Yeah, yeah, and then you got a unicorn deck, but sometimes it's fun to have a unicorn deck just to say, I got it, I got it. Well, know know who you are and what your personality type is, Aaron. So good for you not getting hooked. Don't don't smoke that first cigarette because you'll keep wanting them. They're designed that way. They're designed to hook you. Guess who's hooked? I could have had so many more tarot decks and so many more cruises if I didn't smoke. Oh, but then, but then again, in my free time, what would I do? Read tarot. Um, had tarot videos. Um, she has the new Lisa Pepez unicorn deck, and I've been watching her develop that and following the process. Um, it looks like a cute deck. I do like those cartoony type things, but I like some of these harder hitting decks. This Fox Tarot, I haven't been using it much. I need to study it more, but I really like the aesthetic of the origami animals on the cards. It's just a simple black and white deck. But it's lovely. I just it's very striking. And this Lorenzi Tarot, the surrealist, you see how that head is split in half, and you can see things in the center of it. The more I look at the cards, the more disturbingly interesting the cards are. They have a lot of minute detail that I haven't yet discovered yet. Yeah. Well, Rossi, if you followed my channel, well, I know that you've seen my videos, and I've got a radiant Rider White on the right side, and then I've got my deck that I started out with for the channel and doing card of the days, the Stoller Tarot, and it is absolutely a cartoon cutesy deck. How can you get swords out of spoons? But he still puts the figure in the kitchen and puts 10 spoons in the back as she lies dying and bleeding out on the kitchen floor. So you may not think of a spoon is as threatening as a sword, but I guess with enough blunt force trauma, they can dig in. So yeah, in a lot of my daily videos, I have that set of pictures that I go to and edit into my card of the day videos. And I started that up. I gave up last year, I think, before I went on the cruise in September, or came back from the cruise and just was still in cruise mode and didn't want to do work mode. I think that's about when I gave up. So it lasted from February 26th to till I went on my cruise at the end of September. Uh, uh, had I done that, I'd have a year and a half's worth of content, um, from 2 to 3 minutes each, and so I'm trying to get an average view time of 12 hours a day, and if I don't get it on my uh, two regular 1 hour shows that I get credit for on YouTube. I'm just doing it for me to prove that I can measure up and try to get to the goalpost of monetization. Not monetizing or anything like that. I just I gotta have a goal for me to know that I've made it as a creator. But if it doesn't happen, it's not going to be the end of the world. I'll just be a little more disappointed, or disappointed once more in something that I didn't see through till a natural ending. I'm not familiar with that person or art style. There's a deck out that people are talking about that is Frida Kahlo based. Hershey wants it in a very, very bad way. But Frida is not my typical artistic aesthetic. Um, and if you've seen some of my thumbnails lately, it's um, I'm doing Grant Wood type um, aesthetics. Lollipop trees and uh, very pretty and even rows of fields and stuff like that. Um, I guess you could call it agrarian, some kind of stylistic agrarian society, because it usually has farmers or farm people or farm life depicted in his artwork. And I grew up about 25 miles away from his art colony in Anamosa, Iowa, and the Cedar Rapids Public Library um, sold prints of his artwork as fundraisers, and I carried a tube print from Iowa to California. It never got never the prints never got unrolled from their tube. They went from Iowa to California, 7 years in California. They came here to Texas, and when I got here to Texas and had that IT job and had a little more financial resources, I took it to Michael's and got the 3 prints that I had all custom framed. And um, it's definitely not. It's definitely a manly aesthetic. It wouldn't be. I wouldn't think that a lot of women would like it. It's rustic. Um, bucolic. I don't know that word. Um, yeah, I mean, the deck creators are out of this world. The only thing the only way I could sort of create a deck, I think, would be through AI and or collage manipulation um, through the computer. I just don't have the hand coordination. I could make the person who did the it's a doodle tarot can draw better than me, because my stick people don't even look that good. So that's where I am at artwork. I used to be a fair artist. I took watercolor lessons, and um, but I do tend to go to my tried and true color palettes. So does anybody else want a reading tonight? Are we just talking, having a good time? I'm definitely doing a much better job than I did at the beginning of this YouTube journey. Uh, it, Not embarrassed of it. It's just what I could do at the time. Okay, Mousy, thank you. Do you have a question or anything specific? I'm just cutting my cards multiple times, and then I'll spread them out once if there's a subject or just general. Okay. So, and I don't have a card cam, but what I do is I don't shuffle my cards. I cut the deck many times. Sometimes like between readings, I'm cutting, turning some cards around. But when you ask your question and I concentrate on it, then I spread the deck out and I pick out 3 cards from random spots, just anywhere, and hope that by me concentrating on the question that you ask, the right cards will come out to make a sensible reading for you, or a reading that makes sense for you. I don't know if there are sensible readings. Are there sensible readings? Is that going to have to be a topic? Artist Decoded Deck. I think the Artist Decoded Deck, I think Gerald had it on Tarot Stash for a while. Oh, thank you, Aaron. Okay, a general from Mousy. I think on this card we have Mary Poppins here. I think we've got the creative queen, and she's Queen of Wands. Our creative energy can be fiery at times. You got to find that passion to get fiery. Things look good in partnership, in relationships, because we got 2 of Cups upright. That is your Lover's card in the Minor Arcana. So you definitely want all discord to be out of your life and blocked, and finding peace and harmony that with those around you and those that you work with. And then, oh my goodness, Mousy, you got the greatest card, the Sun. So I would say that whatever you're trying to create or manifest would be a good time to start if you haven't started, or with that 2 of Cups, to find somebody with a like goal to help you with your goal, and maybe together you can get it done. Many hands make light work, and then I've dropped the card, so here I go. Yeah, I've recently have goals too. I've got goals that I can accomplish, and I've got long-term goals, and I make sure that I put something on there that can get taken care of at least in a week's time if I work on it 15 minutes at a time. Sometimes is all the energy that I've got. So if it can be done in 2 hours and 15 minutes, it's a goal I can check off in a week's time if I work on it 15 minutes a day. And then I've got to check myself, and did I do something for at least 15 minutes today to get to any one of my goals that I want, whether it be short term or long term. So Mousy, it looks good for you. So keep setting those goals, but set some attainable goals in the meantime. Sometimes it's just as easy as I'm going to fix a meal at home and not eat out at McDonald's or KFC or whatever. Oh, good. So I'm a little further along and decommissioned in my legs at the moment, and right now I am battling an issue on the underneath side of my foot, and I've got a home health care nurse coming in, and I've got to go back to the podiatrist. Um, it's a long healing process for me. So Mousy, it's good that you can get around without your cane at times, but make sure you have the handholds or things within grasp so you can keep yourself steady, because that's the one thing that I have. I have balance issues because when I had my accident, it rang my bell, concussion, and so I've had vertigo ever since. And so I could, like a week after I was hit, I was fine. I was still mobile. I was not sedentary or anything. I was still active and working at the warehouse that I worked at, but I'd be walking along and all of a sudden I'd fall over. And it became a little concerning for my coworkers, just falling over in the middle of aisles of art supplies in the warehouse trying to pick them for orders. So they sort of shifted me to the packing desk. Uh, I was very lucky and fortunate to have an employer to work with me through my decline in health and abilities. But I got to the point where I couldn't lift a 50-pound block of clay anymore, and that is like one of the first job descriptions you had to have and meet. Even all the ladies that worked there with us, they were some tough people. They could take that 50-pound block of clay off the cart and throw it in a box and get it all packed up and out. Ooh, I haven't broken any bones other than from the accident itself. But I could see where it'd be. I'm deathly afraid of falling over and breaking a hip because I already have osteoarthritis in my hip and knees. Um, so uh, I worked at a nursing home and knew once an elderly person broke a hip that um, if they couldn't get over it, then it was a gradual decline into the dirt nap. So, gonna do everything that I possibly can to hold something off like that as long as possible. So, yeah, health challenges are real, and especially as we age. Um, it's one of those sucky things about being humans. But other people, bless them, they have perfect health. They have, as long as I have my mind, I guess I'm going to be okay. Um, I far from having all my physical facilities right now. Yep, that wheel of fortune. You got to take what is comes up every day. Uh, and there was a period like right around the accident that I had, like my mother passed away. I was put on insulin, uh, and it was the week after Thanksgiving that I had my car accident, and I'm like, okay, what's next? That's all I could say sometimes. Yeah, I'm not even uh, that age yet. I'm only 61, and um, Mentally, I'm a very young 61. Physicality, I'm probably 112. Anybody else would like a reading? If not, we've been here talking away for an hour and a half. And I thank you for being with me. Um, you know, you have other things to do unless you're um, sleep deprived uh, or whatever. I'm glad that you spent a little time with me. Certainly appreciate you sticking around and keeping me company and letting me hone my skill development. So with that, I'll leave you with be kind to yourselves, be kind to each other, and go out and make it a great night. Have a great tomorrow. Bye, everyone.